Hello, this is the fifth in my series of lessons I have learnt which apply to all kinds of circumstances, but I've learnt them by playing the cello. So, a year went by and I had done quite well at learning to play the cello, and one day my teacher asked me if I would like to go on a course to give me the opportunity to play with other people. I thought that was a good idea, so she gave me the details of Benslow Music, a place in Hitchin that does many music courses. I looked at the courses on offer, whistled when I saw how much they cost, but eventually found a cello orchestra course which was just for an afternoon rather than a residential course, so it was much cheaper, and I decided to give it a try. Booked it up. A few days later the music arrived which I was supposed to prepare and practice before going on the course. I got a shock. Up till then, as I had been learning, much of what I had played was simple, but it was always tuneful. Right from the early days of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, I had been playing melodies that I could sing. Now I found that because I was very much the beginner as far as playing in a group was concerned, I had been given the lowest, easiest parts to play, cello 4, and this is what I had to play. Not much tune in that, and it goes on for several lines. And then I discovered what the cello 1s were playing. So yes, I was not impressed. There was no tune and it was boring. I was no longer really sure that I wanted to carry on and do this. Well, there were several pieces I had to learn, some more difficult than others, but none of them had much tune to them. And as in most cases I did not have access to the other parts, I had no idea what they would sound like. Then I went to the course, very nervous. Would I be good enough? Would I let the others down? And then we started playing. Wow, the music was amazing. The more advanced players were playing lovely tunes, but it was the whole sound of all the parts put together that made it music. I felt really privileged to be involved in something so lovely, even though my part seemed insignificant. Since then I have been on many courses, and gradually I have gone up the list, so that now I am often playing cello 1, the highest, most tuneful parts. But often the tutor will say something like this: "Let's hear the cello 4 part," and an apparently boring repeated note will be played. "Now," she will say, "you at this point are the most important part, so play it as if you believe that. Cherish every note, because the other parts need to listen to you and build the music on top of that rhythm. If you don't play your part exactly in tune and in time, all the other parts will fail." She understands the importance of every part in the orchestra. Take one part away and the music is not complete. So what about church? The leaders and ministers have, if you like, the cello 1 part. They are the ones whose words get heard and, hopefully, remembered. They have a prominent position and get seen and recognised and looked up to. Many an enthusiastic young Christian gets inspired by a charismatic leader and thinks, "I want to do that." And for some that is their eventual destiny, but only after much training and discipline, etc. But the overall effect of the church comes not just from the leaders. All the people who have any part to play help to make the church what it is, and they enhance the preacher's message. No preacher or church leader can function without the support of a whole number of people who keep the church building clean and functioning, deal with technical issues, so vital in this last year, sort out the finances, give prayer support, and I'm sure if you take the time to think about it, you will think of many more. And it goes without saying that some of these jobs are a bit boring and repetitive, certainly not glamorous, and probably not noticed by the majority who hear the sermons or attend the services. If that is you today, I want to applaud you and encourage you to think of your role as being as essential as that of the ministers. Echoing my cello tutor, I say, cherish each task as if it is the first time you have ever done it, and do it with as much care as if the whole church depends on it. I'm going to read part of 1 Corinthians 12, which uses the analogy of the body as I have used the analogy of music to illustrate this important concept. But it can also be applied in other settings. So as I read it, whatever field you are involved in, and whether it is as a frontline person or an unnoticed auxiliary helper, listen to the message that this chapter brings to your situation, as well as in the church setting, which was its original focus, because we are described as the body of Christ. This is the Good News translation. For the body itself is not made up of only one part, but of many parts. If the foot were to say, "Because I am not a hand, I don't belong to the body," that would not keep it from being a part of the body. And if the ear were to say, "Because I am not an eye, I don't belong to the body," that would not keep it from being a part of the body. If the whole body were just an eye, how could it hear? And if it were only an ear, how could it smell? As it is, however, God put every different part in the body just as he wanted it to be. There would not be a body if it were all only one part. As it is, there are many parts, but one body. So then, the eye cannot say to the hand, "I don't need you," nor can the head say to the feet, "Well, I don't need you." On the contrary, we cannot do without the parts of the body that seem to be weaker. And those parts that we think aren't worth very much are the ones which we treat with greater care, while the parts of the body which don't look very nice are treated with special modesty, which the more beautiful parts do not need. God himself has put the body together in such a way as to give greater honour to those parts that need it. If one part of the body suffers, all the other parts suffer with it. If one part is praised, all the other parts share its happiness. All of you are Christ's body, and each one is a part of it. And to that I would just add the words of Solomon in Ecclesiastes 9, verse 10. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. And God bless you.